Hello. Thank you for visiting my channel, and in today's video I gonna show you how you can make lovely honey for your houseplants just by tying few knots on a lovely string, ropes, whatever. Depends on how thick they are. So um, to start off, you need to decide how long you want it, and approximately it says you need to cut your strings or ropes in a length 4 times longer than you expect your finished product. So I gonna do about 40-50 centimeters long. So so approximately I cut my strings 3 meters long. So when it's gonna be bended, and we're gonna have like a double numbers of threads I cut, and it's gonna be 1 meter 50. So it's about right length, because not every single inch of this honey gonna be tied up knots, so I allowed a bit with less length. So how I measure 1 meter? Probably you need to check your arms first. So if you hold your thread in your fingers and stretch your arm up to opposite shoulder, so I measured it, it's 1 meter. So now I just bend it 3 times and I got my 3 meter length, which I'm gonna cut. And because this string is not thick enough, so I gonna use triple string, use as one. If you got something thicker, you just need 4 strings for each hand of your honey. Okay, right, so I continue cutting in my strings, and you will join me in a moment. I will tell you calculations, how many strings you need and how many strings you're gonna use for each arm. See you soon. So I cut out 18 strings, the length of each approximately 3 meters, and bend it in half. That is middle. And in my honey, I'm not using any extra materials, only my strings. So to create that loop which you're gonna hang on something, I do it from this thing. So how you can do it? I cut out extra string about 4 meters, which I gonna use to knot around in the macrame knots and create that lovely loop which you can use to put your honey on something. So that's the middle, and I approximately expect to do my honey 5 centimeters of each side. So I keep the length of 5 centimeters, and the shortest side of this bit I gonna wrap around my kitchen chair back to hold it. Okay, let I show what I'm talking about. So I done approximately 10 centimeters of knot, square knots along the main pieces. Now I'm taking it off of chair bending in the middle. You see, that's what I've been talking about. That creates nice loop which you use to hand on something. Oh, can't see. Okay, never mind. Sorry about it, just can't fit the camera properly. Okay, so I'm closer together. Check the ends. Yeah, everything is nice and even. So what you're doing now? You need to join that extra string you have for making all these knots, and just to make maybe couple square knots to make it nice joined together. Okay, so when you thinking how many strings you need to do for your henna, so mainly it says people do with 4 hands or 3 hands. So for each hand you need it 4 strings or ropes, and if it's like mine, quite thin, not thick enough, you can combine them, making 2, 3, depends on how thick you want your finished product. Right, so that's it, pretty much done. 1.5 knot on the top, make it into nice loop, which brings us to next step. So now I can use my chair to fix my macrame piece so it's not moving and not running anywhere, and I can sit down and do what I need to do. Alright, so next step is to divide or just separate 12 strings from a main. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right. Okay. Okay. And so I separate 12, which if you divide it in threes, make it 4 pieces. So if you do it just 1 string thickness, so that's you have to you just separate 4, but in my case it's 12, so never mind. And what I'm gonna do, I use this extra string which I use for making loop, I just join it with carrier. So I'm gonna hide them inside my my hand, which makes it nice and tidy, so nothing is gonna, no end's gonna stick out, and nothing is gonna be untidy. And now I'm gonna complete. Oh, okay, camera is moving. I completed 5 square knots, and I cut excess of string which I've been hiding inside it. So you see it's nice and tidy, so nothing is sticking out, and everything is nicely tied up. And now after I done 5 knots of square knots, and I'm gonna swap working threads with carriers. why I'm doing it. The thing is, the threads, the length of the threads you use to do actual knot running out quite quickly. So it's getting shorter and shorter and shorter. So just to keep everything balanced, so I'm not gonna run out of some length on some strings, so I gonna swap them a couple times just to make sure the main length is used equally. Okay, now I need to do 5 twisty knots, or twisted, that depends how you like it. And I'm gonna swap working threads with working strings with carriers, and do the bit of 5 knots of square knots. Sorry. My ability to speak today is not in a good condition, but never mind. As long as you see what I'm doing, I hope that makes sense. Right, so let's count. As I told before, when you count square knots, you count this V shape on the front. When you count twisted one, you just count 2 threads going string going across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, perfect. So that makes nice twisted bit. And now I'm gonna just again swap working strings with carriers, and another block of 5 square knots gonna be made. Right, I'm gonna continue off camera, otherwise this video gonna be enormous, and I show you when it's done. I completed the length of first hand of my Hannah, so I have 3 blocks of square knots, and I have 3 blocks of twisted knots. So now when I'm gonna do second hand, yeah, I know how it sounds. Again, I got my 12 strings together, 2 bits for 3 it is working, and 6 in the middle there's carriers, and I put leftovers from extra string to make a loop next to my carriers, so they're gonna be inside my knots, tied up and hidden. What is very important when you doing second and third arm of your Hannah, that the tension of your knots need to be similar, and when you do the swap of working strings working and carriers, you need to make sure that distance between your blocks are the same. So in this case you will have the same length of each arm, and that makes quite, you know, big difference when it's the sign of your experience as well. So what I'm doing now, first block of 5 square knots, and I'm trying to hide all that ends so they don't sticking out. Okay, right, this way. Okay. If something, this for example, long one, I'm gonna cut it off so it's not gonna be on the way. Okay. Okay, so just need to complete 5. 1, 2, 3 done. So let me just do 2 more. And 1 more. Right, so you see the length of blocks are the same. So the most important thing is I need to make this swap where I start doing different type of knots the same as on the first one. Okay. If it's not gonna be the same, one arm might be a bit longer, and that creates slightly wonky effect on the whole thing, so it's quite important to pay attention. So that's it. You see the finish in one level and the start in the same level as well. And everything is just a copy of the first arm I've done already. So as you can see, I completed 3 hands, and as I told you before, you need to make sure that spaces in between your blocks are even, and the length of arms is the same. So what I'm going to do now, it is I need to join arms in a very loosey bag where you're gonna put your flower pot. Okay, so you take 2 arms and you divide 1 working and 1 carrier, and the same thing from second one. You put 2 working strings together like that, and about maybe 10 centimeters, 3 inches away, I'm gonna do a square knot. Like that. Nice and tight. I might do it probably second one again. Okay. So. And now I take my third one. Third arm, I take half of strings from third arm, and I use 2 strings which left from this second one, and again my working strings become carries, and carries become working ones. And now I need to make a first square knot, as you can guess, the same length away from this length in between last knot on the hands to the first knot, which gonna create a carrying bag. So they need to be the same length. Okay. And make sure nothing is twisted. So, okay. And I'm gonna do a second knot. Right. Done. So what I have left is this piece, 2 strings from a third arm and 2 strings from a first arm. I might just twist it slightly around, and working strings become carriers, and carriers from previous knots become a working knot, working strings. And again, I'm trying to do equal the same length in between. So that's about that. And I'm making 2 square knots there. Okay. So in this way I connected all 3 arms together in a way that they wanna be able to support anything what goes inside. Right. So we're pretty much done. So now I'm putting everything together. Make sure that all strings are not twisted anyway and go down together as well. And I leave probably the same length, 10 centimeters below. And now I need to do a wrapping connection, and for that I can use my leftovers, which comes quite handy. So to do the wrapping join, you make one string in half, like making a loop, join all together, and now I use another string, just loose end goes down, and I join again, put them all together, keep my fingers tight. What I'm doing now, I tightly wrap around all strings together, tightly, so because that's a very crucial point where all strings are holding together, and this knot is gonna carry all weight of your flower pot or house plant. Okay, so there's a bit of loop is still sticking out. But what I'm gonna do, I just put the end into this loop. These are 2 ends which create this loop. and I pull it in. That's it. So what I need to do, just pull it out. Done. Nicely. And the end of thread which is inside, sorry, I keep saying thread, but it's a string, I know. You just cut it off so by accident you don't pull it out. That's it, done. As I told you, this wrapping knot is gonna have all the weight of your flower pot, and there is a danger that somehow the threads could be pulled out. Just to prevent it, I'm gonna choose the longest strings from all this mass of ends. Okay, that might be that. Okay. Okay, this one. Just I need 4 on each side. Okay, that's done. Okay, and I'm gonna, so that's the longest 8 ends from all this mass of strings. So I'm gonna do the probably few knots, just twisted knots. I can't say how many at the moment, we will see in a minute. Depends on how twisted it will get. Okay. That will provide extra support for your flower pot, and in this way nothing gonna slide out of this. Okay, right, so 1, 2, 3, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's make it 6, which makes it 3 completed square knots, which create a nice little knob here. And as you can guess, I'm gonna repeat a wrapping knot on the bottom of this bit, and I again gonna use my leftovers so again I have one piece which I make a bend or fold together, put loop down, and the loose end of second next to the looking down as well, and I just simply wrapping my string around them, all threads together. Make sure it's nice and tight. Right, where the length of this wrapping piece gets the same length like this one, I'm gonna put the loose end through the loop and pull it inside. So I pull this out because we don't need it, and that loose end I'm gonna cut it off. Okay, so congratulations, our project is completed. Right, So the last bit you want to do, if you want to do it, you can cut all in one length all your left loose ends, or you can leave it randomly. It's completely up to you. So I'm gonna tie them up in a nice straight line. I think that looks a bit better. Just bear with me. And now I'm happy to show you a finished project with my lovely chili plant. So that's how you create like a you can call a bag for flower pot, and this end is makes a nice little feature on the bottom. I cut all ends in one line, so they're nice and tidy, and it's ready to go on the wall. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something useful. Please consider subscribing. It's all free, and benefits are for you that you might learn something useful, some new crafts or new ideas. Again, thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye.